Tip for twirls, tips for twirls. We're pros. It's okay.
We're a pro host.
Mouthful of tea?
Eh?
Mouthful of tea.
Mouthful of tea.
Hello everybody and welcome to SX on the Sofa. I'm Lucy Lee, I am agent of Vixen Models and I'm here today with the incredible Mollie Moon.
Thank you.
So we're going to be delving into everything relationships today. All your dating questions are going to be answered and we're going to be delving into Mollie Moon's dating life and finding a little bit about what she's been up to.
Yes, we are.
But to start us off, can you tell me a little bit about you and how you got into this industry? I know this, but you lot don't, so let's poker.
I am 36 years old. I have been in the webcam industry for just over 3 years now. It's my anniversary in February. And I now am the agent of my own webcam agency, Vixen Models Management. I do a bit of modelling on the side as well. So I'm Miss August 2025. And that's about it, really.
Yeah.
What else do you want to know?
So when you first got into webcam modelling, what was it that got you into it? Did you see an ad or was...
No, it was a friend that introduced me to it.
Yeah.
She was already doing it. She'd been doing it a couple of weeks and she was just convinced me to sign up and do it alongside with her, basically. Yeah. So I'd never even heard about it. And then I just went in blind and signed up.
So your background was nothing to do with the sex industry or anything to do with it whatsoever. What was you working in before?
All sorts. I've done all sorts of jobs. I left school when I was 16 and I started with working in shops. Worked my way up to certain roles like manager and then I'd get bored and then move on.
Yeah,
so I feel like I've learned it all, on to the next. But I've worked in all sorts of different sectors. I've sold insurance. I've done door-to-door sales, like selling charity.
Yeah. See,
I
always find with like sex workers and webcam models, do you find that everyone kind of has an inner hoe? Like for me, I mean, I used to be a bit of a hoe as a teen. Like I was a bit of a flirt, like on MSN Messenger or flirting with the boys and everything. Do you think everyone's got that inner hoe?
Yeah,
to be pulled out?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't think so. So I used to be honest, quite prude. Like I used to have sex with the lights off and that sort of thing. I was really not confident in my own body and in my own skin. But things like when I was quite drunk, for example, I'd be, woo, whips and chains, lights on, baby. So I definitely had it in me, but I had no idea.
Yeah.
Webcam had definitely switched it on for me. I think everyone's got a bit of that inside them.
I do. I absolutely do. I think as well, like as you get older, you become more confident in your sexuality and expressing it as well.
Yeah.
And I think the whole state of society's changed in terms of women's sexuality. And we're taught now to embrace it. And
oh, definitely. You've got to bear in mind that, like, I'm a woman that grew up in the 90s, as are you, and we grew up with a state of, like, there was a lot of body shaming. No, there was a lot of body shaming, actually, and there was a lot of adverts about you had to be a stick.
Yes.
We all had to look the same, whereas now we're in an era of individuality, expressing yourself, being you are amazing as you are, and empowering sex workers actually come about the last couple of years, isn't it? And celebrating
the body.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So in terms of celebrating the body, now we know a little bit about how you do that online, but what about offline? Like, how's your dating life? Have you got any spice going on? Are we getting some?
This is actually a really boring answer because there's nothing going on right now.
Oh damn!
There's a dry desert out there.
We wanted the tea.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that.
Now, just one question: Do you think being a webcam model has impacted that? Do you think that it has anything to do with why you're not dating?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I think it starts with my level of confidence.
Okay.
So before webcam, I was one of those girls that I had to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
And it does make me. I don't feel proud about saying that out loud, but it is.
I honestly think as women, we've all been in that situation where we've needed a relationship to validate that we're good looking or that we're funny or that we're lovable. And it's a lot to do with background.
That was me. From 16, I went into a relationship for 2 years, came out of one, straight into another, had like a week gap. And then it just sort of repeated that throughout up until my 30s. I broke up with a guy around, it was actually in December of a year, and then I started webcamming that February. So I do think the webcamming was a little bit
an
of a
impact.
rebound.
Okay, so it was a bit of an impact. So you say that so you broke up with him in like the November, and then you started webcamming, when was it, the February? So in between that time, was you toying with the idea, or?
No, I was still, so dating wise, I was still going back to my ex.
Yeah.
That's just a massive boo. Like, I know you're sat there booing, and I'll boo me too. Like, that's really disgraceful. But again, I had no confidence. I really didn't think that I was worth very much. So I was attracting the wrong people, and I was staying with the wrong people. And even though deep down I knew that that guy wasn't any good for me, I didn't feel worthy enough to move on. Mm-hmm. So I was always drawn to that. So then fast forward, I started webcam modelling, and I started getting a lot of validation from men online that were paying me to tell me that I was beautiful. I then started to see it. After a couple of months, I started to believe it. I ended up dropping the ex to the curb. And then I've been a single gal since, pretty much. I've not needed a man.
Okay.
And I'm so proud of that.
That is good. That is amazing. We can definitely get that around the clock, because if there's one thing that's hard, it's walking away from relationships that aren't serving you. I mean, they don't have to be abusive. They don't have to be toxic. Like, just a relationship that's generally not serving you can hold you back in so many
not
ways.
Compatible. Like,
not
it's
compatible.
easier to stay with someone. It's safe.
Yeah, yeah. Have you found that have you ever dipped your toe into the dating pool as a cam girl? So since you was a cam girl, have you got curious?
Yeah, so I have dated a couple of guys. After my ex, so I got rid of him. By the end of the summer, I'd started a sort of situationship with a guy. He was a paramedic, and he seemed really nice on paper. He knew that I was a webcam model, and he said he was okay with it, but he was just low-key not okay with it. I could just tell that he was not okay with it by making remarks that were passed off as jokes and banter.
Like to like invalidate your job, or to invalidate you as a person. Was it character digs? And
I think he felt that I was lower than him, because I was a sex worker.
And that's a big problem with stigma in the world right now. Like, people think that we're not doing a real job because of what we're doing online. I mean, that's a whole other podcast, but but for now we'll stick to relationships. But there is a lot of stigma in the world, and I think that does affect dating. Like, have you had any experience with dating sites? Like, what's your response if you go on? Like, do you tell guys? Have you been on dating sites?
I'm not actually a big fan of dating sites anyway. I'm more of a traditional gal. I prefer meeting people in person, building up a connection, usually through the friend zone first, to be honest, and then build up a bit of trust, and then see what blossoms from there. So I don't really dabble in dating sites too much, but I've tried them. At first, I never said that I was a webcam model. But then I just instantly would just delete the app after a little while anyway. And I never even got off the mark with like talking stages with anyone. And then there have been times where I have been talking to people where I've put my job title as webcam model or content creator. You just get a totally different reaction.
Do you think that's what's drawing them in when you tell them?
I think so. I think I was a lot more popular on the dating apps when my job description changed to webcam model. I think that unlocked, and the type of messages that I was getting as well, it was instantly filled.
So we had an expectation that because you was in this industry, you was going to be easy.
I was labelled as a slut sort of thing. Like, oh, she'll be easy. You know, she's on a dating site. And actually, I'm not. I'm actually the opposite. Right. So you say that dating sites don't really work for you. You haven't really seen a very good caliber of men on there who has, to be fair, right? But I'm sure as a model, like, you've started to grow in the industry. Like, you do incredible photo shoots. You're out there. Like, I bet you're meeting incredible people every day. So has there been any opportunities that have come from that? There actually, there has.
So here's the tea. Here's the tea.
I met a photographer last year.
Okay.
He seemed really nice. We got into the talking stages. I don't really know how much to say, but I thought that it was going somewhere. It turns out that he actually had a wife and children that I was made unaware of. So that ended abruptly. But then after that actually then led me on to a guy that I was seeing for a couple of months. So that wasn't necessarily a bad thing. I learned a little bit from that guy. But I met a stripper basically.
So someone kind of in the industry.
That photographer had done a photo shoot with the stripper. So then obviously there was a linked connection on
Yeah.
social media, and that guy DM'd me out of the
Okay.
blue. So I saw a message, oh, you're dishy. And he knew me through the photographer. So I thought, yeah, we started entertained that conversation. And then we started chatting. I then met up with him. And yeah, we got on really well.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. Like, it almost sounds like it must be easier to date people within the industry because they have like a similar work ethic and they have like a similar approach to dating. Obviously, he must have respected your job.
Yeah, and they haven't, people in the industry already understand what it's like to be a performer.
Yeah.
I think people outside of the industry looking in, a lot of people do paint us with a certain brush. You might think that I'm particularly slutty outside of work, but it's actually not. I'm a performer when I'm performing, and when I'm not, I'm actually quite a wholesome, girlfriendy.
So it was just kind of like you did your job, he did his job, and then you came together and had fun together.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that sounds
and
amazing.
Because he understood my job, I just didn't even have to battle that.
Yeah,
so
you didn't have to think about it.
This is the way. My man is out there, and he's already in the industry, and he already knows and is okay with what I do.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, it was really nice and light. And also, with him being a stripper, he pretty much does what I do, but just in the physical form. He performs on stage.
It's very similar.
So he might have had experiences with trouble himself finding someone. So again, we had that mutual connection.
Did either of you have any issues with jealousy?
No.
None at all. So the way to go could be someone in the industry.
I think so, because for me, I know that when I'm performing, that's all that there is. It is just a performance.
An actress.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going home and I'm not laying in bed at that night thinking about that particular client or anything like that. It's no emotional connection or intimacy.
Yeah. So when we need the tea, what happened? What happened? Are you still together? Or?
No, not sadly, it did end, but everything happens for a reason. And so it felt like a whirlwind. It felt really nice, and we've seen each other for a couple of months until I had a random message from his girlfriend saying that she's been with him for at least a year.
Wow.
And do you know that you're sleeping with my boyfriend?
Wow.
X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
So it turns out that he was actually bit of a hoe.
Oh, excellent.
So I thought I'd found someone that, like me, could switch it off from performing. And turns out not. He was sowing his seed in the real world as well as on stage.
So it seems like the experience with both types of men has been kind of the same. The other woman, the mistress.
Yeah.
And sexualized for that sense while they go home to their partners.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, clients.
Yeah. They get it for free.
They get it for free, yeah. Okay. Have you had anything since then? Like, was that the last dating thing that happened in your life? Has there been any sparks? Any new sparks?
No, there's actually nothing at all. So, but I'm really happy about that. I'm in my hot girl, single girl era.
Yeah.
I'm really throwing myself into work. I'm really enjoying it. I don't think I've got time for a bloke.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, he came out of his way to seek me. It's not like I was going out to find someone. So I'm quite happy going back to that and back to my normal thing. If someone comes about,
that was my next question.
Comes about.
Like, sometimes these things aren't planned. Like, if Mr. Dream Man just happened to, stumble upon your path and everything started happening with him, like, how does that look for you? Like,
the door's open. The door's open. I'm not closed off to love. You think I would be by being mid-30s and being single this long and having a long history of bad relationships. But no, I do really think that there is someone out there for everyone.
So if Mr. Perfect was to come along, would you tell him you're a webcam model? Would you tell him?
Yeah, I'd have to
tell him.
Honesty is the best policy. I've always thought that. I'm always a very honest and transparent person anyway, and I expect that level of honesty in return. Yeah. So it starts straight off the bat of what I do. And also, I'm not going to try and hold on to someone by lying and holding that part of myself back. Yeah. It's a big part of who I am.
It really is.
So you need to accept that straight off the bat. And if you don't, boy, bye. Exactly. Someone will. Someone will.
If it's true love, they will accept you in every part of you and they'll cheer for you and, they'll want to see you fly as couples are supposed to support each other.
There are plenty of men out there that will accept you for who you are in this industry. You're testament to that. I know plenty of people that are testament to that. I met someone that was completely okay with my job. So I am confident that there is someone out there.
There is someone out there. Yeah, absolutely.
And honesty is the best policy all the way. If they don't like it, then they're not the one for you.
Yeah, because it's not an industry that you can hide behind. Like,
no, you can't.
You can't hide this stuff forever. Like,
no,
you can keep it a secret for so long in a relationship, but ultimately, if you fall for that person, then you drop the C bomb, camgirl bomb.
And at what point in the relationship
what
do you
point
then
do you
drop
do that?
Because then imagine, I understand that you might want to keep it secret to start with, because it is a bit of a scary thing to come out with.
Yeah.
Especially because there is an expectation of,
But when do you do
or
it?
a stigma. So you might want to keep that close to your chest. I've thought about it before, but then what if you fall for the guy?
Yeah, and then you're a
liar. Do you then say, I love you, but it turns out I've been lying to you for the last 6 months?
It kind of makes you the red flag then, doesn't it?
I think so.
Because like, you imagine it was the other way around. Yeah, like a man coming into a relationship and then you finding out he was a stripper, or...
Your relationship would be built on a lie.
It would, straight away.
It does go both ways. I really do think transparency is the best way.
Honesty, yeah, I agree. Okay, so single life is gracing you with some beautiful things this year. Yeah. Door is open if Mr. Right just happens to trip over the curb and fall into your vagina. Are you on any dating sites? Like, can anyone even get to you if he wanted to?
Oh, see, I get tempted every now and again because people do talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm signed up to one.
Okay.
So far, it doesn't seem that great, but it was advertised on Instagram. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Chirp.
Chirp, okay.
CHYRPE.
Okay, how does that work?
It's designed. Sorry, let me get my teeth in. I'm just. So yeah, it's designed for like confident boss women. That are looking for a partner, just someone to support them. So more like not necessarily submissives. I've found it's a hell of a lot of submissive types on there, which isn't really my cup of tea. So I'm not going to stay on there for long. But I thought, you know what, the door isn't closed, like I said. So I'm open to certain things. But every time I try a dating site, I've never gone on a date from a dating site.
Kind of says a little bit about the kind of guy you're looking for. A little bit. So you've got a bit of an inkling about what you want. You want someone who's going to support you, someone who's going to, be a little bit of a cheerleader in your business, and
I think so.
Who's going to grow with you.
Yeah, I do like a confident guy.
Yeah,
not cocky, just self-assured, or like assured and confident enough in themselves.
Yeah,
especially the fact that they'd be going out with a model.
Yeah,
so they need to not have any deep insecurities that I need to then go and validate.
Absolutely.
Like, you've got to hold your head high and be strong in that aspect. So yeah, strong-willed. I'm a really hard worker, so I do think that finding someone that's also hardworking.
Do you have time to date? You're a busy girl. You have a lot.
I don't make time for dating. I think this is my thing. I don't make time for it. So I could easily, because self-employed queens, like, I could go out on dates every night of the week if I wanted.
Do you think? I don't know if you think the same, but for the right guy, you make time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You fit them in. It might be scheduled, but they're in there.
100%. I actually did. That guy that I was seeing, the stripper I was seeing last year, I was seeing him for about 4 or 5 months. Yeah. It was about 5-6 months, something like that.
Quite a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never going to get that back. We lived 3 hours away.
Yeah.
So I lived up in Newcastle at the time. He's living in Manchester.
Oh, so he was commuting in long distance.
So I was driving. Boy didn't even have a car.
Oh.
Ew.
But
I made the time. So even though running my business, I was mid-calendar competition. I was still making the time to go and drive and see it.
It was a really busy time.
So yeah, for the right person, I definitely would make the time for sure.
Bro lost out.
Oh, he
lost out.
Big time. But good luck to him and his girlfriend.
Girlfriends.
Yeah, there might have been 2 or 3 other girls in the scene. Hi, girls.
Moving on.
They're actually really nice girls. I made friends with a couple of them.
Yeah, see, that's beautiful. Like, that's the thing about this. Like, these men might be shitheads and do these things, but sometimes what comes out of it is beautiful friendships and connection between women. So it's good that women ain't putting up with this shit anymore, and they're seeing where the problem is and all this, side blaming the side hoe and everything. All that is kind of, starting to go out the window a little bit in society today. I think women are starting to see the problem.
Women aren't blaming women.
Women aren't blaming women for this shit.
I didn't have a clue. I didn't do that intentionally.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that.
neither did woman A. Yeah, neither did woman B.
No bad blood. Yeah, exactly.
And I was woman C. Yeah, with a potential woman D going in the background. That was honestly, it was quite.
It was quite.
It was explosive.
It was an octagon. I mean, not a triangle. It was an octagon.
It was non-consensual polyamory.
Moving on. I have one final question for you, Mollie Moon, straight off the bat.
Okay.
What's your views on marriage?
Ooh, I always said that I didn't like marriage, didn't see the point of it. And to be honest, I still kind of think that way. I think for the right person, maybe, because I was with a guy years ago. I was with him for like 10 years. And we were at a point where I would have married him if the time was right, but compatibility and we drifted apart.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just contradicting my own words here. I think for the right people, marriage is for them. For me, I don't think so.
So, yeah. Okay. So you think people, even though they might be set in the decision, it could be adaptable? Like,
I think so.
You don't know what's coming, right?
Yeah, I will never say never to certain things. Like I've always said that about kids as well.
Yeah,
like,
you're such
I'll
a free
never
spirit.
say never. Yeah, 100%. You can just never guarantee what's gonna come. But I do agree with like committing and dedicating to a person. Like I've bought properties with men in the past.
Yeah, for relationship progression. And,
exactly. I think that's a bigger commitment than marriage.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really hard to get out of.
Yeah, it really is. Not only that, but like compromising your own space to live with somebody. Like it's a huge decision. It has to be the right person that's in your space. So yeah, it is a bigger commitment.
And then committing to actually buy a property.
To buy it, to link really your finances. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, fantastic. Right, we've got some questions from your fans.
Oh,
you have a lot of those. You asked fans all over here today. It's so cute. So we have some amazing questions from people on these are coming from like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, so they've come from all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
So we do have quite a lot, so I might just have to save a few for another episode that we get Mollie on, but we'll go with a few of these. So I'm just going to like randomly select some.
Cool.
And what it is, it's kind of like problem questions. So these are women in the industry who need your advice on dating. Or okay,
let's hear them.
Okay, so we've got Abby to start with. So she's been a webcam model for a few years, and I've met someone online who seems really interested in me. However, they're really hesitant to take our relationship offline because they're worried about my safety and the potential risks of dating a webcam model. How do I reassure them that I'm safe on my platforms and that my job doesn't pose a risk to me or our relationship?
As a webcam model, you've instantly got no physical risk. Unless Abby is going out and meeting up with her clients, but I'm assuming based on that she's not.
Yeah.
There isn't much risk. I think it's just a case of just sitting him down and just laying it out and just being really truthful and honest. Even show him this.
Yeah. Do you think men need educating more on the industry when it comes to their approach to women they're in a relationship with?
I think so. I think there's a lack of education, but there's so much, people don't talk about it enough.
No.
This is what I love about this podcast, is that we're just normalising what it is so normal. It's just people just don't talk about it.
Yeah, it's as normal as putting on your uniform and going to work every day. It's the same thing.
Yeah, we're just really stigmatised for, in my opinion, no reason whatsoever. There's so much more to us, and I think if guys actually do just take the time to listen and understand, and also be aware of the safety measures that we do put in place as webcam models.
Absolutely.
There's a reason. For me, I webcam for a reason, and it's a massive thing of it is for safety.
For safety,
so I'm not physically having to go out and put myself in potentially dangerous situations to make money. I can do it in the comfort of home.
That's a good way to explain it to a boyfriend, is like she's safer webcam modeling than she would be in a bar, for example.
Yeah.
Like in terms of safety, you're in the safest place you possibly could be behind 100%. That screen.
Yeah.
In your own room.
And you've got the anonymity, you've got a different alias, you've got a different location. You could tell your clients that you're from the other end of the country.
Yeah.
Ideally, that's what you should be doing anyway, but then reassure your fellow and just let them know that that's what you're doing. Your clients think that I'm 4 miles away. They don't even know where I live.
Didn't you have your cam location set as like the North Pole? Or?
Oh, it still is. Yeah, it still is. I'm from the North Pole.
I love that. Okay, let's have a look at another one then. So we've got Holly. So hello, Holly. She's been a webcam model for a while now, and she's recently started feeling quite uncomfortable with the level of intimacy that's expected of her on camera. I'm worried that the discomfort is going to affect my relationships and my dating life outside work. How do I prioritize my own boundaries on cam without sacrificing relationships or income?
Oh, honey, it's a tricky one because we work with people and you're naturally curious about things. So I don't think boundaries are necessarily rigid. It can be quite cloudy. So if you do find yourself, you're treading in an area that you feel uncomfortable, just stop it immediately. Like, you're in control of everything that happens in your room and what happens with that client.
Yeah.
If you're ever in a position where you're really uncomfortable, you can block that person. You don't need to ever speak to them again.
Yeah, I also think as well, like in terms of the level of intimacy that's expected on camera, there isn't any expectation of you on
No.
camera. You go to your boundaries, you go to your rules, and if you do want to keep your clothes on and go completely PG, do that. Come in a hoodie, I do, like
Yeah.
girlfriend experience.
There's nothing stopping you from stripping it back. Like,
Absolutely.
just because you've done it once doesn't mean you then have to do that every single time for your performance. If
Yeah.
you've tried it once and it's not your thing, then just no longer do that. You don't have to do anything extra for that client. There are plenty of people that will pay you to not make you feel uncomfortable. It's not worth it.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And if you're brave enough to hold on to the call and not end it, distract until it is no longer your problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
use distraction.
Keep the call going.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so we'll go to another couple. So this one doesn't have a name. It's just a user. But I've been dating someone who's really into the idea of being with a webcam model, but I'm starting to feel like they're more interested in the fantasy of it all than into actually getting to know me as a person. How do I navigate the situation and figure out if they are genuinely interested in me or just like the idea of being with a sex worker and a cam model?
See, that's a difficult one. And that's something that I worry about as well. Because what if I meet someone and it's just because they just think that I'm this kinky porn star, and I'm really not. I'm actually quite wholesome and boring.
Yeah.
So you're going to be
Most of us are. Shock horror.
You're about to be extremely let down, my man. So I would actually say strip it back a little bit and stop talking about webcam work with him for a little while, and try and build a connection on other things and interests. And just, like when you're on a webcam call with a client and you don't want to talk about that thing anymore, so you divert, just do that with your man and just steer clear of webcam chat. If he keeps wanting to talk more about just that, then to me, that's kind of a red flag that's kind of all he's wanting you for. To do with that information what you will. But that's what I would do. I would be like, look, I'm here. There's so much more to me. Can we talk about something else?
Like we've got personalities outside of this, like, hobbies, interests, things we do.
When I worked for insurance, I didn't go home and talk all about insurance. It's the last thing I wanted to do. So it's no different with this work. It's nice to switch off. So have that conversation with your man, and hopefully he'll respect that. And you will then have a note, right, he's not just for me as a webcam.
I like that. Yeah, fish it out. Fish out the true intention. I like it. Yeah, there are certain questions you can definitely ask, which will pull that out. Good. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll go to one last one. We've got Maria. So she's been a webcam model for a few years. I've recently started to feel like I'm stuck in a rut. I'm not sure how to balance my job with my personal life, and I'm starting to feel like I'm losing myself. How do I prioritize my own needs and desires outside of my job and just find that sense of fulfillment and purpose?
Oh, honey, first thing I would do is write an ick list. So if I ever get mentally overwhelmed, then I just write everything down, everything that's bothering me. It could be work, it could be just someone's annoyed me, or it could be the fact that my dishes need doing, or something work related that I've procrastinated on. Just write it down on paper and clear your head, girl. Then get a cup of tea, come back to it, and then organize yourself. Like, what is the worst thing? What do I need to tackle? With work, get a schedule. Do not let your work time creep into your personal time. You wouldn't do it with any other job, so don't do it with this. Switch it off and enjoy the life that you are working so hard to go and live.
Yeah, because that's important. Because I mean, the credits in cam can become very addictive to the point where you don't want to log off,
chasing it,
and you end up in your living room or in your bedroom 24/7 and not really living that freedom.
Yeah, but what's the point in making all that money if you're not going to go get a life? So but also there's so much too, as we know, with being consistent. You don't have to sit on cam for hours and days on end to make that weekly bank. So you can just do it with a consistent schedule. So by doing that, you're going to get consistent money coming in, and you're going to consistently be looking after yourself because you're giving yourself that quality of time away from the laptop.
That was such a brilliant answer. That was amazing. That is why Mollie Moon is an agent. As you can see behind her, Vixen Models Management. She does run her own agency, her own cam agency. It's not just about helping you online to learn how to webcam and get trained and get payments. It's a lot about this as well, just general relationship advice and just a guiding friend to be there for you as you're entering into this industry. You might have questions to ask. So if you do want to contact Mollie or myself, our agencies are behind us. So do reach out if you want to learn more about getting into the industry.
Yes.
So Mollie Moo, coming up this year, what's the plans? What are we doing?
I've got a couple of things in the pipeline. I actually got asked to do something quite cool. This morning, literally this morning on my way here, I received a message inviting me to be a part of something really cool. So I won't say anything about that just yet. I'm really, really sorry, but you're gonna have to
come to the next episode. You'll find it here exclusive.
So yeah, just watch this space. I've recently done a photo shoot for the Daily Sport. So that should be released on their website over the next couple of weeks, which is super duper cool. I am Miss August 2025, so my calendar is out there at the moment. So I will be on everyone's
You'll find the link in the description if you want Mollie Moon on your wall.
If you want me on
She's
your wall,
great wank bank material.
On your desk, you could have me wherever you want.
Wherever you want, in any position, for the right price.
It's a really cool page as well, isn't it?
It looks amazing.
Standout page.
The whole calendar's incredible. I love it. It's done such an amazing job. The girls all did incredible. So yeah, take a look at that. I'll link that in the description for you as well.
So yeah, a couple of photo shoots booked in. A super secret thing from this morning that I can't say about. Other than that, it's just a case of watch this space. I'm open. I take opportunities as they come to me.
Yeah. You like to ride with the wind,
pretty much.
Go with the opportunities. I like that. Yeah,
yeah. I'm a free-spirited control freak. Makes sense. But yeah, this is me.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming. It's been great having you. If you do want to know more about Mollie, you'll find all her social media links in the comments. Where can they find you, Moll?
Oh, Instagram, baby. Check it out. Mollie_Moon_model.
Excellent. If you want to know more about Vixen Models Management, you'll find them on the socials as well. Just you can Google them. You come up on Google.
Oh, I'm Googleable.
So if you want to know more, you can go there. If you want to know more about Doxy Models, you can head to our website, doxymodels.co.uk. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. We love all your comments. You might even inspire our next podcast. Who knows? Thank you for watching.
Subscribe.
Mwah. Mwah.
Thank you for watching.
I can't get my microphone.
Please make sure you like and subscribe. Doxy Model and Sex on the Sofa. Vixen Models Management.
Adult work.
Good boy.
Right, we're serious podcasters.
Oh. Alright, Grandma. Oh.
What are we doing here then?
I like it a lot.
Do you like group sex, Lucy?
Do you like jumping out of a plane, Mollie?
Bye.
Okay, that's a wrap.